quick with this conversation because I think that it's one that we need to have. I would like to share something with you guys that will hopefully get you guys to think. My goal is not to tell you what to think. My goal is to get you to think for yourselves. Whatever decision you make at that point, that's on you. That's your choice. That's your right. I am not here to infringe on your rights. I am not here to control you. I am not here to manipulate you in any way, which I believe, I hope this makes me different from all the other people that seek to manipulate black people. There are tons of black people out here in the world, or in white people and other people, politicians, corporations, etc., that see the value in using black people, but don't see much value in actually delivering results to black people and helping black people. So why am I having this discussion now? Before I begin, let me just ask you guys this. If you could, please hit the thumbs up button on your way in. And also just know that this is hashtag Be1 country. Hashtag Be1 means that we're black first. That means you put your black community ahead of any other community. Before you save other people, you got to save yourself. And in order for us to win as a community, we have to be one, which means we have to not just believe that we're number one, but we also must become one as much as possible to form a unified strategy. This week, I was at the Foundational Black Americans Conference. Shout out to Tariq Nasheed for hosting a great conference. And I met a lot of great people there. Professor James Small, Riza Islam, Kaba Kabane, who else? Judge Joe Brown. How can I forget Judge Joe Brown? I love Judge Joe Brown because Joe Brown was he's really determined to bring manhood back to the community. And I like that because I think that we need a more masculinity in the community. We don't have enough of that. You become a feminized community. And because you become feminized, you've lost a lot of your warriors. And there are certain battles that you have a hard time fighting because people know that you don't have any men that are really going to stand up for you. So one of the men that I think is standing up for the community that I think is doing a great job is LeBron James. I have a lot of respect for LeBron. This is not a diss track on LeBron. I'm not here to ever dog LeBron at all. And he's come up again for the second time in the last 2 or 3 days because I talked about him a little bit yesterday with regard to fatherhood and the fact that he's a great father, but also just some implications in terms of understanding what Black fatherhood means to the community, how much you lost when you lost your fathers, how much you lose when you lose your alpha males, what you don't have when you don't have your men. So I talked about that yesterday. I'll put that up on drboystv.com in a little bit if you want to check it out. But right now, let's talk about this voting thing. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up button if you haven't done it yet. So LeBron is part of a voter initiative. He's doing activism in the way that he sees fit, which is certainly his right. But I want to add some perspective onto this and let you know why I don't agree with everything that's happening with LeBron. And why I feel that he's being manipulated by the liberals and by the Democratic Party in particular. So LeBron is doing a voter drive right now. He's the head of a voter drive. He's one of the main names on this event. He says here in this USA Today article, the quote is, "We've seen our voices muted our whole lives." So what typically happens is when the Democrats are ready to get Black people to vote, they don't really tell you what you're voting for. They don't give you reasons why you should vote in terms of what you're going to really get from the community, other than more voting rights, right? They get you to vote because they want you to have more rights to vote. But remember, voting rights are not for you. Voting rights are for them. That's like me telling Alicia that the Christmas gift I got her was I got her some new vacuum cleaner so she could clean my bedroom even better than she did before. Me buying her a new vacuum cleaner is not a gift for her. That's a gift for me, or me saying, hey, I got you some more foot massage lotion so you can massage my feet and make me feel better. That's not the same as actually me doing something for her, because in order for me to really do something for her, I have to ask her what she wants. Right. I have to ask her what she wants, and I have to care enough to give her what she wants. So Black people are not asking for more chances to vote for white people. They're not asking for more opportunities to vote for Biden. They're asking for things like reparations. They're asking for things like support for the Black-owned businesses. They're asking for things like, dealing with mass incarceration and letting out, tens of thousands of people that were incarcerated under the Clinton-Biden crime bill that was written years ago. They're not asking for more voting rights. But that's sort of what the game is. That's how the game is played. And unfortunately, because a lot of us are not all that politically sophisticated, we fall for the game. So here's what I'm going to read some of this to you, and I'm going to break this down for you. It says, when he became eligible to vote, LeBron James did not consider it to be important. At the age of 18, James cared about other things. Then a high school senior at St. Vincent St. Mary's in Akron, Ohio, James remained more consumed about winning a division championship than ensuring his spot in the NBA draft. Not only did James stay focused with fulfilling his childhood dream, he also wanted to support his mother, Gloria, et cetera, et cetera. He had other reasons, though, to care about not voting. He says, quote, "Black people in the community don't believe that their vote matters," James said. "We grow up and don't think that our vote actually matters. It doesn't. We've seen recounts before. We've had our voices muted our whole lives." Okay, so now they say at 35, James does not want his voice to be muted. The LA Lakers star, let me write this down. I had a thought, and I like to write it down to make sure I share this thought with you guys before we get done. The LA Lakers star has become one of the NBA's leading voices to speak out on the importance of voting. He founded an organization called More Than a Vote, which is a group that has encouraged or increased voter registration on its website and has held voting drives in the Black community. The group has donated $100,000 to the Florida Rights Association or Florida Rights Restoration Coalition to help pay outstanding debts of former felons so they can register to vote. I think that's great. I think we should support the felons, mostly by letting them out. I think that would be a good way to go because remember this, I need y'all to really remember this. Give me a yes in the chat if you're hearing what I'm saying. You've got tens of thousands of Black men and women, particularly Black men, who are still incarcerated under the last regime of Black extermination that occurred under the Joe Biden, Bill Clinton crime bill. Do you follow what I'm saying? Joe Biden and Bill Clinton wrote a bill in the 1990s that put, when they talk about how corrupt cops are and how terrible and scary cops are. Well, Joe Biden put 100,000 extra cops on the street. He put billions of dollars into that. He took money out of things like education for the hood and instead put that money into getting more cops that could come and beat up and kill Black people. Let's just be clear about that. Like, I just really think it's important that we don't get into this revisionist history or that we let people sort of take advantage of this false belief that they have that Black people are just stupid, that we're not going to remember things. So if you want to know why I'm choosing not to vote for Biden, it's because I'll never vote for somebody who incarcerates my loved ones. I'll never vote for somebody who has exterminated me. You could tell me that Satan himself is going to be the motherfucking president if he doesn't get elected. I don't give a fuck. We'll just have Satan for president because you're not getting my vote. You're not going to corner me into shit. You're not going to scare me. You're not going to back me into a little cubby hole or play the dumb Negro tricks on me because that just does not work for me. It does not mean I don't understand. Everybody who's voting, I understand exactly why they're voting. If you're voting for Biden, I can tell you exactly why. If I listen to you talk for 3 to 5 minutes, I can tell you exactly why you're voting for Biden. If you're voting for Trump, I can tell you exactly why you're voting for Trump. I talk to Trump supporters. I talk to Biden supporters. I talk to people who aren't voting. I see the whole court. I see like when LeBron is playing for the Lakers, he understands why the Denver Nuggets 2 guard is going to take more 3-pointers because his 3-point shooting percentage is very high and because the perimeter is open relative to the post, right? He understands this. He can see the whole court. He can see what he's going to do. He can see what his teammates are going to do. He can see what the other team's going to do. He can see what the shooter's going to do, right? Well, the same thing is true when it comes to playing for Team Black people. When I play for Team Black people, I can tell you what each player on the team is doing. I can tell you why the coon is over there cooning. I can tell you why the Black elite are over there trying to get as many Black people to vote for the Democrats as possible because they're about to get paid. I can tell you why the liberator or the Harriet Tubman types are fighting to get off the corporate plantation. I can tell you why the corporate Negro really loves his job. I can tell you why the Negro on CNN is saying what he's saying. I can see all of that. And I can also tell you what I'm about to do. I can tell you what the opponent's going to do. I can tell you which shot I'm going to take and what position I want to play, right? So this is really not even me really telling you that you shouldn't play a different position. This is me telling you like, okay, understand the court, pick your position and play your position. So some of y'all play the position of liberators. Some of you play the position of people that say, you know what, I'm not participating in none of this. This is bullshit. Some of you are playing a different position. You're choosing to participate in the election. I don't judge you for that. But I really think that as a matter of strategy, we have to understand all the roles on the team, all the roles on the other team, team white supremacy. They got their point guard out there. They got their centers. They have their coaches and cheerleaders. You got to understand why they're doing what they're doing too. So anyway, here's what the issue is with LeBron and his voting campaign. So I'm reading through this article and I see that LeBron has, LeBron has this thing going on where it's not just LeBron. I don't want to just say it's LeBron. I don't want to pin it on him. It's a bunch of players. And they're not spearheading this. This is not something that they created. This is something that was created, and somebody said, well, we need you to put your name on this because this is going to be a good thing for you to do for the community. And they're young. They don't know any better. They haven't had, 30 years to think about this stuff the way I have. So they're not going to see what I see. So basically, they're putting their name on this initiative that they think is helping the Black community. And they're saying things that are a little bit misinformed, and some would almost say a little bit insulting when you say Black people have never had a voice and Black people need to start voting so they can have a voice. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why that is just a little bit of a problematic statement. Black people, let me ask you this. Give me a yes or no in the chat. I'm gonna ask you guys a question, yes or no question. Have Black people voted in the past? Did Black people vote in the 2016 election? Did Black people show up, or did we all stay home? Did 90% of us just not participate? Give me a yes or no. Did Black people show up and vote in the last election? Give me a yes or no. Okay, the answer is yes, right? Voter participation was pretty high. We know who we voted for. We voted for the Democrats mostly. Let's go back to 2008. Barack Obama gets elected, first biracial president. Give me a yes or no in the chat. Yes or no. Did Black people vote for Obama? Did Black people show up, or did Black people just boycott the 2008 election? Did Black people use their voice and vote for Obama? Give me a yes or no. Did we show up for Obama, or did we just say, you know what, man, fuck you, bro. Good luck. We hope you can win by yourself. Or did we show up like a motherfucker for Barack Obama? Like, did we show up in fucking droves? Like they was giving away Popeye's chicken with a pair of Air Jordans that day. Seriously. Every church had a voter drive. Every Black person was supposed to be there. Every Black celebrity was backing him. Every Black people came through like a motherfucker for Obama. You can't vote. You cannot support a candidate. I doubt if there's any time in American history where a candidate received that much unanimous support from any group of people in this country. Maybe I'm wrong. But I ain't never seen white people be as unified as Black people were on the day Obama got elected. So here's why I bring this point up. Here's why I asked you this question, which is a stupid question. It was a stupid question because I need sometimes asking the simple questions will give us the simple answers, which will help us come to the simple conclusions. The reason that it's problematic to say Black people never had a voice because Black people never voted and we need to make Black people vote is because that's just not true. Part of the reason that some Black people are not voting, I just did a survey on my Twitter. 41% of you said you're not participating. And I would be willing to bet you also that many of the people not participating are not participating because they have participated so much in the past and it did not work because they already tried that, right? So think about this. Imagine if somebody says, imagine like a man's talking to his wife and his wife says, honey, you're in a bad mood. What can I do to make you happy? Is there anything I can do to make you happy? Because you punched me in my eye last night, and that's domestic violence, and I'm going to forgive you, but you don't seem happy. So let's say that she has low self-esteem, because this describes the Black voter. I think Black people, honestly, collectively, we have low self-esteem. So let's say she says, honey, you seem to be a little bit moody lately, and this violence thing, I'm not going to take it. So tell me what will make you happy. And so let's say he says, I really need you to cook my favorite meal. And she says, okay, well, what do you want? He says, I want some chicken and some beans and some rice. And so she cooks up his favorite meal and does it right, does it really well. Like goes out to the grocery store, gets special ingredients, makes him the best meal ever. And he eats the meal and he's full, he's sitting there full. And then he gets up and he cracks her in the jaw, right? And she's confused, right? She's pissed, confused, upset, hurt, everything else. Because she's sitting there thinking like, wait a minute, you told me that in order to get you to treat me better, all I had to do was cook your favorite meal, right? It was a raw deal. It was stupid. I dealt to your shit because I'm committed to this marriage. I'm dedicated to staying married to you despite your flaws. And you told me that this is what I had to do. and I did it, and you still are abusing me. Just like black people, we're in the Democrats. We're in an abusive marriage. We get abused over and over and over again, even though we keep doing what they ask us to do. So then let's say that he says, no, I was just playing. I'm just playing. Last time I hit you, I was a little bit mad, but really, if you make me my favorite meal again and give me like a birthday cake to go with it, like it's not my birthday, but I like a birthday cake. So make me some chicken with some rice and beans and give me a birthday cake to go with it. Then I promise you, I'll treat you better. I promise you, baby. I promise you, baby, please. Right? She's like, you ain't gonna treat me better. You ain't right. You be lying, right? He's like, no, baby, I got you, baby. I promise you, it won't happen again. So she goes in the kitchen, gets some special ingredients, goes through the whole shebang, the chicken, the rice, makes a nice, beautiful birthday cake, his favorite flavor. He sits down, he eats the meal. It's really, really good. And then he gets up and punches her in the face again because he's pissed off because he had a bad day at work, right? And that to me exemplifies the relationship between the African American community and the Democratic Party. Every election, they come to you with baby, please. And every time you're like, you don't really like us. You keep ignoring us. We keep telling you what we want and you don't never do it. And they're like, no, baby. I was just playing. Last time, yeah, I made a mistake. It was, I know I wrote that crime bill and that's incarcerated 100,000 of your men, but I promise I've changed. I've changed, baby. And we stupid. We'll be like, okay, well, he does seem sincere. So we will go and the Democratic Party. If it were a man, the Democratic Party would be Ike motherfucking Turner. Like seriously, like literally they doing an Ike Turner on us. He would be Ike Turner mixed with R. Kelly because he'd be beating your ass and peeing on you. That's what the Democratic Party has done every election that I can remember. And there's some point where some of us just say, we're not getting peed on anymore. I'm just not going to let you do this anymore. I'm going to change my strategy because the only way I can get you to change your behavior is if I change my behavior. So we're running into the dilemma of a lot of abused people that realize that you can't take the word of an abuser. An abuser is addicted to the abuse. They're addicted to the neglect. They're addicted to the mistreatment. They have a dysfunction. They might promise you something and really intend to keep the promise, but they can't even keep the promise because they don't have the discipline to do it. So there's some point where you have to sort of wake up and say, I don't really know if I can give you the honor. I can't do the honor system with you because you're not behaving in an honorable fashion. Because you tell me things and you lie, or you've lied repeatedly. I've trusted you. I've paid you in advance. You did not return the favor. You did not come through. So this time I'm not going to believe you anymore. So I'm not sitting here telling anybody, what to do. I mean, if you're scared of Donald Trump, like if Donald Trump makes you pee in your pants and you're scared of a Trump presidency, even though the last 4 years were, really most indicators show black people are not doing any worse or any better in this situation than they were under Obama. I mean, the pandemic happened, but even that was something that you can't blame that on anybody. You blame that on China. I mean, the virus came out of China, right? And then, that could have happened under Obama. It could have happened under Bush. Could have happened under anybody. So that part, the economy, I mean, all that was doing pretty good. Do you know how many people, raise your hand if you are in here and you have been making like a shit ton of money in the stock market, like in the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Do you know how many people? I was at the Foundational Black Americans Conference, Tariq's joint, and it was wonderful, by the way. Tariq did a wonderful job. I ran into so many students who have made a shit ton of money from investing in the last 2 or 3 years. Like didn't get caught up in the politics and the elections and all that. They have been getting paid. Raise your hand. Say something in the chat if you're one of those people, because I believe that there's thousands of you. One brother came up and told me he started with $7,000 and has $100,000 in his stock portfolio now. I kid you not. I'm not making this up. I recorded it. I was like, show me, can we record this? So because people don't believe it. People believe, I guess, that voting for their white Jesus is going to make their lives better. No, that's not. It's all symbolic. It's all symbolism. So I'm not sitting here trying to tell you who to vote for. If you're really afraid, if they've really got you afraid of a Trump presidency so much, that you will engage in that act of voting for the same person who really is the law and order leader. I mean, Biden's crime bill was pretty brutal. I encourage you to go read what Biden wrote in that crime bill and what he said about African Americans, back in the 90s. This man, I doubt if he's changed that much. He's just learned how to change his appearance, but he's the same dude. Like I'm kind of the same guy I was 20 years ago. I'm just a more mature version of what I was. 20 years ago I was an activist. Now I'm still an activist. I was concerned with race 20 years ago. I'm still concerned with race now. I was a scholar 20 years ago. I'm a scholar now. Biden was Biden 20 years ago. Biden is Biden now. And so what I see as the game is they're trying to convince you that Biden now is different from Biden then. And some people are just going to fall for that. And some people have been trained to be so afraid of a Trump presidency that they'll vote for anybody. You could seriously, you could put a Klansman on the Democratic Party ballot and they will vote for a Klansman, because all you have to do is convince them that Donald Trump is worse than a Klansman. You could put a rapist on the ballot and they'll vote for a rapist because they'll say, well, it's the lesser of two evils. And that's fine. I think that's fine, but I don't want to even deal in evil. I'm not participating in evil. I'm just not. Right. And so a Trump presidency doesn't scare me. I'm not saying it shouldn't scare you. If you scare easily, then go for it. But I don't scare easily, so I'm not afraid of a Trump presidency. Do me a favor, if you could, please hit the thumbs up button. Hit the thumbs up button right now. Also, this is drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. And I want to mention something. In the Black Business School, we had a program called Black Keys to Greatness. And that's a program I put together. It's a very success-oriented self-help sort of thing, because so many people wanted advice from me on how to succeed in life, how to overcome obstacles, how to manage time, how to set goals, how to deal with haters, things like that. And it does have a price. But I decided that because I want to help young people so much and I want to give you guys good advice, I have made it totally free. It's totally free, 100% free. So you'll see the lifetime membership price listed at $9.99, but you can actually join for $0. $0, 0 cents, no strings attached. So if you'd like to participate and you really are a person that's seeking advice and guidance from an older Black man that you might respect, if you don't respect me, then obviously this doesn't work for you. But if you do have some appreciation for what I share with you, then feel free to go to blackkeystogreatness.com. That's blackkeystogreatness.com. So in fact, I'll put the URL in here. If you could hit the thumbs up button while I do that, please do. So it's blackkeystogreatness.com. I'll put this in here at the top and I'll pin it so you guys can see it right there. And it's a great program. It's really, really good. And I would say there's a 100% money back guarantee, but you don't have to pay any money. So, so there we go. There's that. All right. So let's see here. Let's see. Hey, Ali, thank you for your donation. She says, my friend Carmen Johnson, carmensstory.org, would love to be a guest on your show. She was in prison for a crime she didn't commit. Well, have her send an email to producer@flynubianmedia.com. That's producer@flynubianmedia.com. I'll put that in here. I don't have a lot of, I'll be honest, I don't have a lot of guests on the show because I'm not really a show host. I'm just a guy who kind of, has some things to say, but and also I'm getting some oral surgery tomorrow, so I don't know how long. I may not be able to talk for a while. I don't know what that's going to be like, but I'll keep you posted. All right, so here's the deal with LeBron. Again, I want to make it 100% clear with LeBron doing this voter drive campaign. I am not in any way saying that LeBron does not have a right to do this. Also with LeBron doing his voter drive campaign, I have no problem with the fact that, with his More Than a Vote campaign, that he's expressing himself in the way he sees best. What I'm trying to offer is another perspective that might help broaden at least your point of view on how to view these things as they approach you with this stuff, so you can kind of know what I see and what's really going on. Another thing that they're doing with this campaign that's quite fascinating to me is they're engaging in massive amounts of mind control. I happen to be marrying a full professor of social work, who also is a therapist, who is an expert on the subconscious mind. So we have lots of conversations about how Black people are consistently mind controlled. And so one of the things that we observe is that when you have this sort of dumbing down of Black people through music, and then the educational system is so terrible, the goal is to keep black people as stupid as possible, because stupid people can be easily manipulated, or people who don't have critical thinking skills are easily manipulated. In fact, studies show that African Americans, unfortunately, we consume more media than almost any other group of people in this country. And what television does, constantly watching TV, taking in information, not engaging in critical thought, what it does is it wears down what is called your prefrontal cortex in your brain. And that's the part of your brain that's responsible for critical thinking. So it almost zombifies you. So when they talk about programming, they call it a TV program for a reason. It's really programming. And so effectively, one of the things that they're doing as part of this programming is they have these shirts that they have everybody wear. And all the shirts say is the word vote. They just say vote, right? And now I get it, because you want the message to be simple and you want it to be something anybody can understand. But what it is also doing, though, is it's giving an order. It's giving a command, and it's pressuring people to do something without giving them the reason why. You're looking at black people as mindless drones who are not capable or nor worthy of making their own personal decisions. I want to give you more respect than that. My goal is to respect you and to say, look, even I can't tell you what to do. I'm not here to tell you what to do. All I'm asking you to do, I'm not even telling you, I'm asking you to consider what I'm saying. I'm a professor. I have a PhD. I've had a PhD for over 20 years. I was the only black person in the United States to get a PhD in finance during the year 2002. And it wasn't because I'm stupid. I'm not bragging. I say these things to let you know that there's a benefit that comes with the fact that I've been sitting around thinking about this shit for a very long time. So as a result of this, I sometimes see things where I'm thinking, gosh, I wish other people would see this too. So when you just put vote on a shirt and you don't tell people why they should vote, that's almost that's almost an epic level of fraudulent behavior. Like that's the type of fraud. Like because and then when you say, well, why should I vote? They don't give you reasons why Biden's a great candidate. Here's what they do. They'll tell you how terrible Trump is. We got to get Trump out of office. Now, they won't really explain why. It's really they just don't like Trump as a person. They can't specifically name any policies that, like, did Trump open up a concentration camp to put all black people in it? No, he didn't. Biden did. Biden opened up thousands of concentration camps across this country, or hundreds of them anyway, and put 100,000 cops on the street. So he really did open up prisons, which is the closest thing we have in the United States to a concentration camp. So if you ask me, like, what is my objection to Biden, I can specifically point to a policy, that 1994 crime bill, which is never going to go away, that did build concentration camps in America to put black people in it. They did the same thing with us, something similar to us that they did with the Jews. Just maybe the body count isn't as high, but if you add up the body count of black communities and all the chaos, death, and destruction that has occurred as a result of the war on drugs and mass incarceration, then you could probably say that we would compare to what happened in World War II. Remember, the World War II Holocaust lasted about 6 years. The Holocaust against black people has lasted about 100 years, and then you get to slavery, right? So you got 100 years of Holocaust without even talking about slavery. I mean, that's fascinating, right? That's unbelievable, right? That's what you're up against. That's what you're dealing with. So when they're telling black people to vote and they're not giving you a reason why, you can't blame them for using whatever tactic they think they can get away with, but you have to really question them. And I think the smart people in the room are obligated to speak up for the not so smart people in the room. So the smart people in the room, yourselves, Bo Diddley and Jackie Murray, you're here because you're one of the smart people in the room. You're obligated, in my opinion, to say, well, give me a reason why. Like, give me a policy. Tell me why without talking about Trump and without telling me that I'm just supposed to do it just because it's my duty. Like, nothing's my duty. I'm free. Freedom means I do what the fuck I want. So if you're telling me that I have to do something, then you're not supporting the idea of me being free. Do you get what I'm saying? Give me a yes or no if you follow what I'm saying. How can you tell me that you want me to have freedom when you're telling me what to do? That doesn't make any sense. So for black people, you must understand what freedom means. Freedom means making your own decision. So anybody who does not support freedom is not your friend. When somebody gets pissed off, and I know there's probably people in the chat that are like, you need to stop that. You did that, right? These people are not supporting your freedom. I'm sorry, I don't listen to you because you're a jackass. What you're saying is you might as well be a Klansman. What you're saying is incredibly racist. Black people have had other people telling us what to do for 450 years. Why do we need more people telling us what to do now? Why do we need to continue that tradition of everybody forcing black people, peer pressuring black people, shaming black people, attacking black people for doing whatever they want to do? Because if you pay attention closely, I never tell you who to vote for. I have never told you who to vote for. And if I've ever sounded like I did that, I apologize, because that was not my intention. I have never said vote for Biden, vote for Trump, vote for this candidate. I never said that. I've just simply said do what works best for you and your family. So process this for a moment. Think about this. How is it that there are people that are offended by the fact that I've simply told Black people to do what's best for themselves? How can somebody be a friend to Black people when you get offended by somebody who's told Black people, do what works for you, do what's going to work best for your family? Can a person who really cares about you be offended by somebody who's telling you to do what's best for you? Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you get, am I saying it right? Is it coming through clearly? So you got to know who your friends and your enemies are. And I would almost assume, I think a safe assumption as a Black person is assume that you don't really have that many friends. Don't even assume that I'm your friend. If I say something that makes sense, then use it. If it doesn't make sense, then, who knows? I could be COINTELPRO. Like, you don't know. You don't know. They get you in all different kinds of ways. So that's why I believe when I was speaking at Tariq's event this week, first thing I started off with is I said, Black leadership is dead. Fuck Black leadership. Fuck that old bullshit model of these fake ass civil rights leaders that they throw out there in front of you. Half of them are part of the alphabet boys. Half of them are indoctrinated into socialism. No disrespect to any of that, but I'm just telling you, like, it's a game. It's a hustle, man. In fact, if you talk to real folks that lived during the 60s, there was a large swath of Black people who were not down for any of that marching, praying, we shall overcome. I'm going to go let a white man beat my ass at a lunch counter just so I can have the right to give him my money bullshit. There was a ton of Black people who were not down for that. But they manipulated you just like they're manipulating your children right now through the indoctrination process that occurs through the public school system. They manipulated you into thinking that all Black people were down with the civil rights movement when it was going on. That wasn't true. But those folks who were not down did not have a voice. They did not, their voices were not heard in the public school system. That's why you have a million schools out here where your child's going to learn everything there is to know about Martin Luther King, but won't learn nothing about Marcus Garvey. They ain't going to say shit about Marcus Garvey because Marcus Garvey was speaking that real stuff, that radical stuff, that freedom talk, that liberation talk. Whereas for at least a part of his career, Dr. King also was duped into a message that was incredibly unempowering for Black people. Dr. King, though, to his credit, started to wake up. He's doing what a lot of you are doing. A lot of y'all, a lot of us, I say us because I'm included too. A lot of us are recovering coons. Like, a lot of us literally are in coon recovery. We are in rehab right now, trying to recover from all the coonery that we were injected with all through the years. They injected it just like you put heroin in a dope addict's arm, and we got injected with it so much that we became addicted to it and started crying for it. We wanted it to happen. And so when you first take an addict off the drug, they're gonna go crazy, right? You take away heroin from a heroin addict and try to give him vegetables and fruits and healthy food, he's gonna go crazy. He's like, fuck you, motherfucker! Right? He's gonna go crazy, right? He's gonna have an exorcism because the power of the coonery is so strong. And that's what you're hearing when you see Negroes getting mad. When Negroes on TV or the Black elite getting pissed off because Black people are actually speaking up for themselves and demanding something for their vote and changing the paradigm or trying to control the narrative, the coons are all like, this ain't right. What you doing? This is crazy, right? Because they're upset because they are heavily addicted. They are deeply entrenched. They are tripled down invested. They doubled and tripled down on white supremacy. That's why they're being rewarded by it, right? So you got this important job working for Joe Biden, like that one lady, that one big bald linebacker looking chick who works for Biden. I forgot her name, Simone Sanders or whatever. She is livid. She is absolutely livid that Black men, in particular, and the strong Black women in the community, are speaking up in the new Black media and saying, we're not falling for the okie doke. She's pissed, right? We're like the devil to them. Right. And and that's that addiction talking. That's those withdrawal symptoms, because she's like, well, if I don't have my white massa, then I ain't got nothing. So she needs rehab. That's all she needs. And we got room for her, but she's going to have to change her approach. So I think that so here's the deal. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up button if you haven't done it yet. So I'm going to say this. Here's what I'll say. Look, voter drives are always going to happen, you know, and I'm not going to say it's like a bad thing. I think if voting actually made sense and you were actually voting for the candidate that was actually going to benefit you and the system were set up right, voting could be a wonderful thing. A lot of people logically walk away from voting because they've made it into such a disgusting, dastardly, fucked up situation that people are just not going to waste their time. But if you want to do voter drives and you want to get black people to vote, and your goal is to actually solve a problem and to actually achieve a goal, then I would argue, again, I'm a mathematician. Mathematicians solve problems. And I wouldn't make sense if I didn't give you an actual solution. And so what I would almost say is that Judge Joe Brown, who graduated from UCLA Law School, who is incredibly intelligent when it comes to matters of law and politics, one strategy he mentioned at the Foundational Black Americans Conference, which I really liked, and I was literally cheering inside my head. I was doing this like yes, because I was glad somebody else said it besides me. Is we must broaden the playbook on political strategy. One of the problems that you have, one of the reasons that you lose in every election, one of the reasons that you never get what you want is because you don't know how to play. You don't know all the plays that are in your playbook. You know, to use a LeBron James analogy, you're kind of like what LeBron James would be as a basketball player if he had one move and can only dribble with his right hand. If he could only dribble with his right hand and only shoot layups and free throws, LeBron James probably wouldn't even be in the NBA. Right? LeBron James is a great player because he has many, many moves and he has many, many strategies, many, many tactics, and he can adjust those tactics and strategies based on the situation. So when he plays the Denver Nuggets, he's going to play them different from the way he might play the Boston Celtics because they're going to throw a different defense at him. So my argument is that if you're dealing as a black person with trying to achieve a goal, right? You're B1, hashtag B1 in the chat, right? You're B1, you're black first. You want your community to win. You want voting to make sense. You want it to benefit our community. Well, if that's the case, then why not broaden out your playbook a little bit, right? Because right now your playbook is simple. You got one fucking play. One play is everybody vote for the Democrats and hope for the best. Your playbook is exactly the same in 2020 that it was in 1980, 1960, right? Whatever, like 1995, 2002. Every year you have the same playbook. And when a player shows up to a game and he has the same play every single time and he can only dribble with his right hand, he's very easy to defend. He's very easy to trick. He's very easy to stop, right? So I encourage you to expand your playbook. So Judge Joe Brown had me cheering in my seat because he actually referenced political science theory to talk about strategies to get what you want out of elections that don't necessarily involve doing what you're supposed to do. The one fundamental reality, give me a yes or no if we can agree on this, is that 9 times out of 10, if you do what you did last time, you're going to get what you got last time, right? Do we agree on that? Can give me a yes or no if you agree that in most situations, particularly in politics, if you keep doing the same thing, you're going to keep getting the same result. Like I am holding this ink pen up, I dropped it, it hit the table. I'm holding this ink pen up, I dropped it, it hit the table. I'm holding this ink pen up, I dropped it, it hit the table, right? There's no point where I can drop this ink pen and have it do something other than hit the table. I'm not going to drop this ink pen and have it fly out the window, right? I won't drop this ink pen and then have a new car in my hotel room. I won't drop this ink pen and get a phone call from my mother, right? Most times when I drop this pen, I'm gonna get the same result. So you're basically being asked to do something that is just really honestly stuck on stupid, literally. And not to say you're stupid. I'm not dogging anybody or make you feel bad. If there's something that you want to do whatever you want to do. I'm not going to judge you on that. But we're literally being asked as a community to do the exact same thing and somehow expect a different result. And we can all agree that we haven't been happy with the results we've received in the past. I have yet to meet a black person anywhere that can tell me like, oh my God, all this voting has really done these wonderful things for the community. Oh yeah, the kids nobody's being shot up in the hood like they used to be. Nobody's being killed by cops anymore. All the public schools are so great. The kids are being so well educated. Oh my gosh, black businesses got $1 trillion out of that stimulus money or $500 billion. We got $400 billion of the stimulus money. No, the money still went to white people, right? So there's no black person I know. Give me a yes or no if you agree with this. Yes if you agree, no if you don't agree. Give me a yes if you agree. Do you agree with me on this statement that most black people, the vast majority of black people, are not satisfied with what they've gotten from the last 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 presidential elections? Give me a yes or no. Do we agree on that statement? So if we agree on that statement, and I see the yeses, okay. So if we agree on that statement, then why would we do the same thing in this election that we've done in every other election? Why does that even make sense? Why does that make sense? And it doesn't make sense, right? The only way they can make it make sense to you is by really creating such chaos and destruction, right? Through the pandemic or whatever, like exaggerating everything that's going on and making sure that Trump gets blamed for it or whatever, right? The only way they can convince you to do the same thing that you did every single election is by basically creating an environment that is so terrible, so scary, because Negroes scare easily. Black men don't scare easily. Black women don't scare. Negroes scare easily, right? So create a situation that is so scary, so dastardly, so horrible that you absolutely have to do what they tell you to do, right? That's how people gain control over you. They scare the living shit out of you, and you hand over the reins of control and you say, look, just saves me, boss, saves me, boss. I'm just too scared, boss. I need you to take the wheel. Because most people I've talked to a few people that are speaking with Democrats and Republicans, they're high profile people that are having meetings with both sides to try to figure out what to do for the Black community. So shout out to some of these people that are actually holding out. And one common theme that I'm noticing is that their whole argument is, well, we just got to get Trump out of office. It's a state of emergency. We just need you to play ball, just go along with the program. Let's just get him out of office first, and then we'll talk about it after that, right? Well, it's compelling, right? It's compelling. It's like, it's like when, let me think here. It's like we have a 17-year-old in the house. Let me break it down for you like this. So we have a 17-year-old in the house, and he's a good kid, but he's like every other 17-year-old. He don't listen sometimes, right? So, we'll say, wash your clothes. You got to leave. You got to go. You got to go. I'm his stepdad. I'm the bonus dad. So it's like, okay, you got to go to your dad's house at 6. So make sure you wash your clothes so you have some clothes to take with you, right? He don't do it. He don't move. He takes his time, right? And each time what'll happen is it'll get to the last minute, and he'll be like, and some of y'all got kids who'll do this. He'll show up and be like, how am I gonna go? I can't go. I don't have any clothes. I don't have any clothes. Well, whose fault is that, right? Well, yeah, but I didn't. But that's not important now. I just need some clothes. Like, can I go to right? And it's kind of like, okay, so you're asking me to make up for the fact that you didn't do what you had to do in order to prepare. You know what? Rather than thinking of this as an opportunity where I need to make an exception and go ahead and excuse you so that you can get through this crisis, maybe I need to let you feel the burn a little bit so that you will remember this the next time you run into this situation. Maybe we need to go through the crisis in order for you to really learn that I'm not playing with you. You see, when you're negotiating for something, you have to have the ability to call somebody's bluff, and you have to have the ability to go all the way to the finish line. You have to be willing to play chicken and be willing to crash your car. If you don't have the ability to do that, to go all the way to the finish line, then you will never have negotiating power, because the other party will always know that you're a coward. Right? So sometimes our kids will do that with us. They'll put themselves in a stupid situation, and because we feel sorry for them, or because we don't want our baby to go through any discomfort, we'll come in and we'll save them every time. Anybody got kids where you just constantly end up saving your kids, and it makes them spoiled as shit? Like right? And it's a game, it's a strategy, right? It's like they'll keep fucking up, and then at the last minute they'll come crying to you, and you'll feel bad, and you'll make up for whatever they didn't do. Well, the Democratic Party does the same thing to Black people. They're doing this in this election. They've been fucking up. Trump would never have gotten elected if Obama had done his job. Trump would never have gotten elected if that first Black presidency had been so extraordinary that we just literally said, you know what, we got to do this again. Trump never would have gotten elected if we had gone black. If we really had gone black, we never would have came back. Trump never would have gotten elected if all these years of neglect had not occurred. So Trump being in office, while it is certainly a state of emergency in their minds, it's certainly something that scares the shit out of white people for sure, and some Black people. Trump getting elected was their own doing. They created this crisis. So I look at them almost like you look at the kids. So the kids are coming up saying, we got to get Trump out of office. He's in office. And if you don't get him out of office, it's your fault. Because you know how the child will make you feel like it's your fault because you didn't come through and save them from their own bullshit. Like, why would you let me go to school without any clean clothes? Well, because I told you to wash your clothes and you didn't listen. Right. So what I say to the Democrats, like I say to the kids, they're like, Mom, why you gotta vote for Trump? Why you gonna let Trump get elected? Because it's gonna, you don't want to destroy the country. Well, no, we told you. We warned you. We gave you chance after chance after chance. We warned you repeatedly that if you keep on fucking up, you're gonna get a Trump in office, and we're not gonna be there to save you. Black people have been saving white people since before slavery. Black people have been saving ignorant ass white people since the beginning of time. We have been saving racist ass people since I don't know when. For hundreds of years, we have been saving everybody but ourselves. And on this particular occasion, I'm not here to save you anymore. I am not here to save you anymore. You are like the deadbeat friend or relative. I don't know if anybody else has ever gone through the pain of having a loved one where you have gone to the rails for them, come through for them every time, cleaned up after their bullshit, bailed them out of jail, loaned them money that they never was going to pay back, came through for them in the middle of the night, came through and helped them clean up their shit. They calling you talking about how they about to get evicted when they refuse to go to work or save their money. And then there's a point where you just say, fuck it, I'm done. Let the chips fall where they may. I have had many occasions where that has occurred. I can think of one particular relative where I saved his ass repeatedly over and over and over again because I had a guilt complex that led me into basically feeling like I needed to be there for him in order to prove that I was loyal. But then there's just a point where I was like, man, I'm not doing this no more. Yeah. But if you don't loan me this money, I'm about to be on the streets. I'm about to be evicted. Fuck it then. Go get evicted. Maybe that'll change your behavior. Maybe next time, I don't want to see you out there like that. I don't want to see you in a bad situation. But maybe that's what you need. Maybe you need Jesus, because whatever I've been doing for you ain't working. Helping you has not been working. So when I look at the Democratic Party, I see a party where they are addicted to racism. They are addicted to Black neglect. They are addicted to voter suppression by suppressing Black votes, by appealing to Latinos and people in other communities from across the border more than they appeal to you. They care more about an illegal immigrant than they care about a Black person. No disrespect to anybody who came across the border illegally. I don't hate you, but you got a country. This is my country. You got a country. And I know that if I go to your country, I'm not gonna get preference over you. So if you come to my country, you can't have preference over me. That's just the way it's going to be. I'm sorry. There's nothing racist about that. There's nothing immigrant phobic about that, or whatever stupid term they're making up to try to shame people into specific behavior because they're a bunch of damn fascists, right? It's none of that. At the end of the day, it's going to be Black first up in this motherfucker right now. From this point on, this Black man's going to take care of himself. I'm not going to take care of you first. I will take care of you after I take care of me and mine. And that it is that simple. And you understand that very well, because that's what you've been doing all along. That's how you've been playing the game. And really, to some extent, as mad as I might be at you, maybe I shouldn't get mad at you. Maybe I need to get mad at myself. Maybe I need to look at my own behavior. Because when I had that relative who was using me over and over again, who was constantly putting himself in stupid situations and then having me bail him out at the last minute, having me come through for him and inconveniencing my own life in order to save somebody who didn't want to be saved, I realized that as mad as I wanted to be at him, it wasn't him I should have been mad at. I really should have been mad at me, right? So I'm just telling you, maybe we should have some self-esteem in this election. Maybe instead of seeing the Trump crisis as the worst thing in the world, maybe this is a great opportunity. When Amazon's workers want to get a pay raise and they want to go on strike, they don't go on strike when everything's good. They go on strike when Jeff Bezos needs them the most. They go on strike right on Prime Day. They're like, oh my God, we got Prime Day coming. We need y'all working. Well, if you need us working, then pay us more money and we'll show right up. We'll be right there. We'll be right there. I'll be there early if you go ahead and give me that pay raise. So I would say that to the Democrats. So, if you want me to stop all this, like this crazy talk on politics, I can stop it all right now. It'll stop right now. Just start talking about reparations a lot more. Start making plans to pay those reparations. Cut the damn check. Go do the things that we need you to do. Get some Black businesses that stimulus money. I want to see 500 billion of that money going into Black-owned companies. Right? Go let out some of those Black people. Let out tens of thousands of Black men and women that you put in prison under the Biden-Clinton crime bill, and then I'll show right up to vote. If you give us something to vote for, then the people that listen to anything that I say, if you give them something to vote for, they will vote for you. These people, they vote for me every day. They support me every day. And the reason we support each other is because I'd like to believe it's because I give them something. I give them something for their vote. Every day when y'all show up, when Khalid Shabazz and Kathy Jones, when y'all show up and y'all even watch my podcast, or if you buy something or whatever it is you want to do, you do it not because you're just trying to make sure Boyce Watkins is good. You do it because I've given you something. I want to offer value to you so that you will then offer value to me. That's called quid pro quo. It's a basic idea. Dr. Claude Anderson talks about it in Powernomics all the time, right? So why can't they understand the basic idea of a quid pro quo? Well, a lot of it is because quid pro quos require a basic level of respect that I don't believe they have for Black people. When you just don't respect the other party, you kind of feel like they should do stuff for you and you shouldn't have to do anything for them. It's like maybe how some men, I've seen men deal with two women in two totally different ways. I've seen one woman where it's more like a quid pro quo, where it's like, okay, I want this woman's attention. I want her affection. So I'm going to treat her really well. I'm going to take her out. I'm going to call her every day. I'm going to really be there for her. And then the other woman, it's like, I ain't doing nothing for her, but she's still going to do stuff for me. She's going to do stuff for me, but I'm not going to do nothing for her. Right? So you got, in one case, maybe what you might call more of a quid pro quo. The other case is a quid pro ho, right? A quid pro ho, right? And that just pretty much means that he doesn't have respect for woman number two, but he has tremendous respect for woman number one. So Black people, for the longest time, you have been woman number two. You have been political hoes. You've been pimped. But you're not just political hoes. You've also been made into economic hoes. They take money from you. They don't give that money back. They come and scoop money out of your communities by the bucket load, and they never bring it back. They run that community, that money right out of town, and they feel no obligation to make sure that you and your family and your community are good, because they're gonna make sure that their family and their community are good. And if you stop taking care of them, they get mad at you and say, well, what are you doing? We got a good thing going here. Well, we got a good thing going for you, but it's not a good thing for me because you're getting everything and I'm getting nothing. Those relationships have to stop. They must stop now. So I'm not participating in any of that. Nothing that makes sense to me will ever get my support. That's all I got to say, guys. I'm going to go. Thank you for listening. It was great talking to you. Have a wonderful day. Do me a favor, if you could, before you go, please hit that thumbs up button real quick right now. Thumbs up button, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed to the platform yet, please subscribe, please subscribe, please subscribe. Also, if you could give me a verbal confirmation that you'll share the video, that really helps. You're part of our distribution team, and I would really love it if you would just take the time to take that link, put it on your social media, and share it to some of the people that maybe need to hear this message, because I believe once you go Black, you never go back. Once they hear a message of freedom, liberation, and power, I believe that they can't go backwards. So my goal in my life is to make sure that I share the idea of Black intelligence with as many people as possible, and you guys are an important part of that. So I appreciate your support and your help on every level. And also, as a gift to you, like I said, that program, Black Keys to Greatness, which is self-help, motivation, how to accomplish goals, how to manage your time. It's my own personal playbook on how I manage time, how I deal with haters, how you come back from setbacks. These are things that we need, because inspiration and passion are more important than intellect. Inspiration and passion will help you climb mountains that you're not supposed to climb. And that's what keeps me going every day, is inspiration and passion. So I actually put together a whole curriculum on this, and I think it's really good, and you can have it totally for free. There's normally a fee, but the fee has been waived completely. So just go to blackkeystogreatness.com. That's blackkeystogreatness.com. I'll say it one more time, blackkeystogreatness.com. So take care, guys. Have a good day. I'm going to go and lay down now. I'll see you soon. Be good. Peace.